Hi, I'm Kesten Rono, and you are here again for a review of A Course in Miracles. Today, we cover Lesson 56, reviewing 26 through 30, exercises we have previously discussed. In brief review of yesterday, I'd like to read part of the affirmations. I am determined to see the witnesses to the truth in me, rather than those which show me an illusion of myself. My loving thoughts will save me from this perception of the world and give me the peace God intended me to have. I will see a world of peace and safety and joy, and it is this I choose to see in place of what I look on now. I am willing to follow the guide God has given me to find out what my own best interests are, recognizing that I cannot perceive them by myself. Let me open my mind to the world's real purpose by withdrawing the one I have given it and learning the truth about it. We are here, determined to see things differently. We are sustained by the love of God, and there is nothing to fear. 26. My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. Please repeat after me. My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. How can I know who I am when I see myself as under constant attack? Pain, illness, loss, age, and death seem to threaten me. All my hopes and wishes and plans appear to be at the mercy of a world I cannot control. Yet perfect security and complete fulfillment are in my inheritance. They are my inheritance. I have tried to give my inheritance away in exchange for the world I see. But God has kept my inheritance safe for me. My own real thoughts will teach me what it is. Please repeat after me. My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. How can I know who I am when I see myself as under constant attack? That when we see ourselves under constant attack, we are reduced to some state of panic and fear, and we feel we must defend ourselves or that we must attack back. And this takes place of anything else that we can dream of, our creativity, the idea that we could be safe to build into the future in truth. We are reduced to some primordial state, which we are imagining must be true. And physiologically, we experience the dis-ease associated with the idea that until we can fix this, we cannot live. Pain, illness, loss, age, and death seem to threaten me. Seem to threaten me. I have felt pain, illness, loss. I'm aging. I have known people to die. How is it that I am not inundated by all these ideas all the time, even if I feel some of them somewhat often? These ideas have seemed to have less immediate hold, like the idea that someone else tells you what your diagnosis is and how long you have to live. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Why do we need to accept how someone else tells us what the world is, how we should feel when we're in it, and what our fate is? If we don't want someone else telling us how it is, you're not going to like this news. But if they lead a question like that, or a statement like that? Why do we automatically accept that they get to tell us how we will be seen, how we will see whatever they are telling us? How do they know for sure when our experiences could vary so differently? And what if our perspective is changing? What if we do not see it exactly the same way that we used to, or the way that they imagine that we do? If we might feel this way, why do we allow ourselves to shape a world of pain, illness, loss, age, and death as threats? Why are we not able to see a healthful arc throughout life as a gift, and our death physically a blessing? May we invite ourselves to consider seeing these ideas differently. May we lean on the idea that it appears that energy can precede matter, that cause precedes effect, or that they even happen simultaneously, that the effects around us are illuminating how we are thinking. And if we are caught thinking we are thinking, may we understand simply that we are off course, that there is something about noticing what is, as it is providing us feedback to our own internal state of mind. And then perhaps we are able to spend time with our state of mind and realize that something about our state of mind is setting some kind of precedent for what we are experiencing around us. And maybe in time, in learning, we are presented with an idea that feels like it might just stick, that something about the way we are thinking can even change the material world that we are experiencing, including our own health. Surely, if we can stress ourselves into dis-ease, perhaps we can bless ourselves into ease. Is it so unreasonable? All my hopes and wishes and plans appear to be at the mercy of a world I cannot control. Do you fundamentally want to be a victim of everything that is around you? I do not. I want to be a creator of what I experience around me. And this idea feels like a large, as anything can be big or hard in the name of miracles, but it feels like a new stretch, something that I hadn't experienced before, or at least been consciously aware of, even if love was being expressed to me and around me. However, I had decided it must take shape, was leaving me in lack. And even then, that comment sounds like something was done unto me, as I also admit to myself that I was shaping the world this way, that I understood that somehow some other people are seeing some of these ideas differently, what it is like to grow up and become an adult or pursue anything at all. Why was I unable to see it? This is something that I found myself struggling with. And what I learned is that no amount of pain and shame could ever form me into something other than some shape of pain and shame. And so I slowly learned to be honest with myself, to accept myself for who I am, how I thought, despite many ways that people attempted to mold me. And in a lot of ways, these could have been mentors, and I just could not see things their way. But ultimately, I had to realize that I was seeing things my own way, and that I was trapping myself in my own prison. Are we really at the mercy of a world we cannot control? And even if we feel that things are done unto us, are we really at the mercy in all aspects, including our mind, about how someone must demand we feel? Is that very true? Is it really true? I don't believe it is. I believe that upon reflection, we may find that we are in control of how we feel, and then therefore how we conduct ourselves in the world. And one simple example could be someone has hurt me, some time has passed, I no longer want to feel the pain of that event. And in this particular case, I'm allowing myself to feel as though I was pained by somebody else. Perhaps you know someone or you yourself have been the victim of some inappropriate feeling trauma. How could we justify that? Perhaps this idea of justifying it at all is leading us right back into this cycle of attacks where we feel we must justify something for it to be okay. But what if in the scenario that we have been hurt and we are reflecting and we no longer wish to go throughout the world in hurt? What if we try the hardest thing, the newest thing, and forgive? For we have noticed inside of our environment or even internal state, which this book would suggest is likely the same place, all in our imagination, enveloped in our holiness from our state of mind created by God. Now, what if we move forward with forgiveness for ourselves, for how we have held on to something, and for someone else, for even allowing them to have power over our internal state of being? That what was experienced, no matter how small or big, is part of the past, and the miracle is waking up to the idea that that is an illusion to hold on to, and we need not shape our present state with some idea that is simply not here. Perhaps we simply appear to be at the mercy of a world we cannot control. Yet perfect security and complete fulfillment are my inheritance. Inheritance, as if being passed off from a father to a son, as if what you have is going to be given to your next of kin or whomever you write in your will. It is God's will in creating you. If God is perfect and holy, if God is eternal and has all knowledge beyond the constraints, if they are constraints at all, beyond time, the constraints of time, that your inheritance is to assume a position in the kingdom of heaven, and the light within you sharing what this place is, if we can simply let go our insistence on how we are constructing the world. The light within you is limitless, formless. It's available for your imagination and creativity, that there is always a space for you in this source of love. It is your inheritance to know perfect peace and perfect safety, as we are able to step outside simply living with only a body identification, and consider what would it feel like if we can give allegiance to whatever this consciousness is, whatever this is happening, whatever we are when we imagine, wherever this is, this state of mind. If we could affirm this spirit identification, what could that imply? I believe it implies that you are already in perfect peace and perfect safety, and that what we are experiencing physically is a gift of experience, and it is not a punishment. God did not create you in punishment and fear. He created you in love and truth. I have tried to give my inheritance away in exchange for the world I see. This sounds like bargaining with the devil. We are being tapped on the shoulder by the ego, claiming to be all powerful, attempting to offer us power through ideas of fear, creating a relative abundance relative to some other lack. And all that is required is that we give away control. Control, ironically, being what it is trying to offer. We give away control of our mind. We are giving away our inheritance, which is our mind, which is us. We are giving away some idea, outsourcing every aspect of us, so long as we do not have to feel and notice that we might be here all alone, that we are here to take care of ourselves. And not that that is a chore whatsoever, but it is a beautiful gift that we are invulnerable and there is no taking care or preventing death required. That there are other laws that exist in a spiritual realm to which we have access by the mere realization that we can close our eyes and that we can imagine that where are these words even coming from that I'm speaking? Where do we go when we die? Why is it so clear that we are not only the body that we are in? And why do we give so much credence to only the physical things that we can inspect? Why do we neglect the idea of healing in the spirit when there are many examples of miracles? You are a miracle, and the miracle of life in time and space is the opportunity to wake up to feeling at all and to let it go, something that the entire system says we may not do. That is the one rule that we are not allowed to do if we are giving allegiance to this idea of ego, giving away our mind, our inheritance. The one thing we must do is admit that we are afraid. That is where our power comes from. That is what makes the trade possible. That is what makes us inhabitable by an idea that does not serve our best interests, as it tells us it's in our best interests. This is what a parasite does to a host. It mines its energy, believing that it cannot live without the host, and the ego cannot. No idea can live without a mind to host it. And fear only has the tactic of fear. What do you imagine that love has then? Perhaps the power of love. But God has kept my inheritance safe for me. How could anything be lost in the realm of the eternal? The central server to which all of your experiences are being uploaded, accessible by anybody with the right key. Why would it have any need to go anywhere? If everything could be stored in an infinite space, would not that mean that everything that has been offered to you is simply waiting? Does that not resonate with an idea of unconditional love, of the truth? The truth always exists underneath any web of lies. And knowing the truth immediately nullifies, giving credence to this idea of cause and effect being intrinsically linked, instantly, clarifying, purifying. The truth immediately nullifies any web of lies. You could tell me many lies to cover up a simple lie when I asked you a question. And as soon as I learned the truth about the first question that I asked you, everything you have told me since then evaporates. What does that mean then? That the idea of the truth always exists. And aligning with the truth allows us to see right through illusions. And perhaps we have new feelings as we digest this world around us that we have given so much allegiance to. All of a sudden, it has never been what we have assumed it to be. All of the lies were not true. I forgive you, is what we would say. And we are clean. Now we can move forward in truth and allow the other person to move forward in truth. Why do we need to hang on to something other than to poison our own well? So, if under any web of lies, the truth could simply exist, unconditionally, wholly unchanged, in this idea of love, which is patient and accepting, simply waiting, simply is. Why do we imagine our inheritance is ever lost, even if we have lost sight of it? My own real thoughts will teach me what it is. Perhaps we are still fumbling with what is a real thought. We know what our North Star is. It's the ability to simply recognize, like the Holy Spirit, the tool created by God that helps us be forever linked to his realm of knowledge, with our true vision. Our true vision, what is it? It's the ability to recognize something for simply being true, built in perfection, ever present, non threatening, wholly unchanged, eternal, from something that is an illusion, our creation built out of darkness, which we have told ourselves must be true so that we can have some structure to this system, so that we can continue to gently release our fear, even though that is the foundation upon which we are building, and it does crumble as soon as we see the truth. This is what true vision is. I don't know how it might physically feel as we're relating to it from a physical sense, but it is not the same as sight. Although this book would suggest that perhaps something about how we see and what we see begins to change. Seeing more light, noticing it within us, and seeing it around us. I suppose alluding to the idea that everything, internally and externally, is imbued with a divine purpose by God, that it has a meaning beyond whatever we have been assigning to it. And as we recognize whatever true vision is, which I just believe is permission for us to feel differently, and it therefore being revealed as we notice how we are out of sync with love and we forgive ourselves and others, whatever is left over simply is. And I dare say that this simple truth is truth itself. And noticing it is to see truly. Please repeat after me. My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. 27. Above all else, I want to see. Please repeat after me. Above all else, I want to see. Recognizing that what I see reflects what I think I am, I realize that vision is my greatest need. The world I see attests to the fearful nature of the self-image I have made. If I would remember who I am, it is essential that I let this image of myself go. As it is replaced by truth, vision will surely be given me, and with this vision, I will look upon the world and on myself with charity and love. Please repeat after me. Above all else, I want to see. What if we imagine the inverse of this, just the order change of this statement? I want to see above all else. That we could have a viewpoint that would allow us to simply notice, oh, from up here, I can see that the problems are actually small and they're easy to forgive. And immediately we are taken directly to the principle one, that no miracle is bigger or harder than another. And perhaps if we can see above all else, because we declare above all else I want to see, we can start reducing the topography of this land of troubles and ills, that it starts to shrink and they all become relatively small until we simply can hardly notice them at all. And we may dust them off. Thank you for being here. I would like to see differently. Recognizing that what I see reflects what I think I am, that our external world is providing us input on our internal state of mind. But this is a process of us thinking we are thinking. Recognizing that what I see with our eyes, and I suppose if we're thinking of true vision versus false vision, then false vision would simply be confused by what is real, or claiming that what we see is true when we are building it not out of love, not in our best interests, able to see God's light. Recognizing that what I see, so how we see, or the objects around us, or possibly even what we are creating inside of our mind's eye, that what I see reflects what I think I am. Our internal state of mind and our confusion with it is creating an idea of image making rather than vision itself. I realize that vision is my greatest need. If we cannot see the truth for the truth, then there is likely nothing, nothing that is higher on our priority list than first knowing the truth. If we know the truth, the playing field is set. Now the game can begin. Now it's fun. If we do not know the truth, we are constantly scrambling for meaning and curious why when we pursue this thing, even if we achieve it, are we not fulfilled? Perhaps we were never setting a goal in our true best interests. Perhaps that is why we feel deflated and depressed and see coercion and death. The world I see attests to the fearful nature of the self-image I have made, that we are building a world around us to reflect who we believe we are, and we are giving credence to all kinds of idols, any different kind of asset. All of them being something that we cannot take with us, or many of them being funded by a money created out of thin air so that we can buy something that we claim to own when it has never been paid for. We are living in debt. We have lost our ownership and our sovereignty, and therefore we do not have our own freedom. We've given our allegiance to someone else. We've sold them our life savings, and they have promised us power. We are borrowing from the future and attempting to live it in the present, creating lack every step of the way. Is this really the self-image we truly want to have? Or are we hoping that if we can make our life as comfortable as we can now, that we don't have to notice in the future how misguided we have become, wrangling conscious control over some false idea of miracles, when the entire time all we needed to do was wake up to however we have been feeling and forgive ourselves for being so misguided. If I would remember who I am, it is essential that I let this image of myself go. We are done image making. You can stop now if you want. There are still over 300 lessons. And right now, we are declaring that we have been image making rather than seeing. And if you would rather image make, return back to the matrix to eat that steak that isn't real, but feels real. To return to ignorance and claim that it is bliss, then you can stop now. It is your choice. And your choice to return to an idea of love will always be here. And the beautiful part is that no matter how far away we believe we can get from God, we are building with nothing. We are never separate. God holds our inheritance in patience, waiting for us to return. Because we have never, ever, ever stepped away from God. We have simply colored over the connection that is innate within us. And it's okay. But if we need to seek more lessons of pain, we will find more lessons of pain. And eventually, we might be curious to heal and feel differently, and therefore to see life differently. And on the other side of that, we may assume, even if it's wrong to assume, but we may guess if it provides us some kind of motivation or determination or devotion. We may guess that if we keep digging this way and all we find is darkness, if we allow ourselves to climb back out, maybe we are returning back to some light. So when you are ready, this will be here. And so will God. And so will I. As it is replaced by truth, it being the image we are creating of ourselves, as it is replaced by truth, vision will surely be given me. That is our 3-step process that takes 2 steps. Feel how we feel, let it go, notice whatever is there. That third one, there's nothing to do. Whatever is there simply will be there. And whatever true vision is simply noticing what is truly there. So if we can let ourselves release our pains, something else is already there. There's no work to be done beyond that. Not for true vision. That is why it will be given to you, I imagine. And with this vision, I will look upon the world and on myself with charity and love. I do not believe it is saying charity and love to see ourselves this way requires any effort whatsoever. That would be us making an assumption from this stage where we have not yet known true vision, that we are still mired, living beneath some kind of ills, some kind of untruth, where we say, I'm full of love, I love everything. And yet we have a hard time loving ourselves or accepting some of the traumas in the world. Why are they there at all? Why is our attention gravitating towards them at all? I understand that this might be challenging because we want to say, because they're there. And this is bullshit. Does it have to be? Have you tried on an idea that says, if I knew myself with charity and love, if I knew that for sure, and I had devotion to this idea by living more naturally in the flow of natural miracles, if I could remove myself from ideas like even what I'm doing right here, talking at a computer, surrounded by Wi-Fi, feeling busy and tight, forgetting to go outside, changing my light bulbs to flickering LEDs rather than full spectrum light. Why am I doing so many things, convincing myself that someone can make a supplement, that a doctor, and I respect you doctors, with little or no nutrition training has any idea about the fundamental way that a body could be living, that could be healthy for it, that it might just take care of itself if it can. Why don't we try returning back to eating seasonal, local, whole, organic by design foods? Drink pure water, sleep in darkness, look up at the stars rather than down at our own light on our devices. Embrace the sun. Allow a natural process of the absorption of vitamin D to help us not burn from vitamin D. That somehow we've gotten here. Somehow. Generation after generation after generation after generation. The further we go back, we believe, according to the stories that we tell ourselves or what we allow other people to tell us, we believe that the further we go back, the dumber we were. We were just playing with sticks and rocks. Yet, how come you're even here? Maybe there is an innate design, even in that kind of narrative, that allows the reality that an ancestral tree, as we imagine it, without all of these fancy technologies for convenience, somehow still kept producing humans totally in the dark, that they had no intuition, that we're lucky that they even fumbled here before we could find modern medicine. Before we say that this is bullshit, can we allow ourselves to make it through an entire year and be curious what else we might discover along the way? And perhaps as we step into an idea that allows us to have permission that we are naturally equipped to know charity, love, peace, abundance, health, then perhaps our entire world changes. And if we are not ready for that, because we believe we have to hold on to some old idea, one we have known, all we have ever known in life because of what we believe we have been born into, and any way that that marketing and narrative has been carefully curated, or at least the incentive structure of it would constantly reverberate some idea that we have to outsource all of these things in order to be healthy, that we might only have a chance to survive a little bit longer if we could have someone else tell us how to do it. What if we can forgive ourselves for believing that we are victim to our own way of being? What if the mentor that we turn to is an idea of God who built us out of love and truth? What if, upon recognizing how we feel and letting it go, we may simply notice the truth that is there and very, very, very simply see ourselves with love and charity? That seems impossible if we don't do those steps. From here, we would be forcing ourselves to say, I see myself in love and charity. I see myself in love and charity. And then right after that, be unable to take great care of ourselves. May we do all of this with great ease, with love and appreciation and open-mindedness. Please declare this after me. Above all else, I want to see. And so you will. And so you are. It is done. It is done. It is done. 28. Above all else, I want to see differently. Please repeat this. Above all else, I want to see differently. The world I see holds my fearful self-image in place and guarantees its continuance. While I see the world as I see it now, truth cannot enter my awareness. I would let the door behind this world be opened for me, that I may look past it to the world that reflects the love of God. Please repeat after me. Above all else, I want to see differently. The world I see holds my fearful self-image in place and guarantees its continuance. We have a firm hold ourselves on the stories that we have been telling ourselves or the ones that have been told to us. But if it's true that what we are noticing around us is a reflection of our internal state, we must allow ourselves to realize that we haven't stepped into any world whatsoever. We have simply adopted a state of mind, and maybe we can say that that was pressed upon us. Fine. But it's time to change. It's time to change. If it was given to us, we may give ourselves a different idea. The world I see holds my fearful self-image. We are image making. We are image making. If we are afraid, if we believe that we are being attacked, we will be living in fear. And therefore, some part of us will be resonating an idea of fear. Oh, no, not that. And I would agree. I do not want to be hurt. No, I do not want to see my loved ones hurt. But I would rather say, I want to be in love. I want to see my loved ones in love. Perhaps there is a difference by stating what we do want to see versus what we do not want to see. Until we do so, it would stand to reason that everything will be in place. Because if we are afraid of our death and disease and destruction, then how could we ever see past it unless we let that idea go? It wouldn't matter what we do next. We could find motivation and feel gleeful. But if our foundation of thinking is not our foundational thoughts with God, that we cannot find this proof point that we are holy and that we are our minds, then we will end up upon the foundation that says, that was great, but don't forget, you have to protect yourself or you will be destroyed. and we will end our day in worry. We will start our day in confusion. What if whatever we saw was lit by love and charity and peace? The first thing we would do in that morning would feel totally different. And when we go to bed, we would be full of gratitude, excited to dream, never ending, always connected to some idea of God. This does not need to be religious if that feels like it is oppressive. It's simply what you are, if you choose to see it. While I see the world as I see it now, truth cannot enter my awareness. There is no space for truth here. If we are living in darkness, untruth, and we allow truth in, our whole world evaporates. That is the biggest threat to the ego. It cannot allow it. It can't allow it. If that's how we want to see the world, the biggest threat ever to uncovering these lies, to dismantling these lies and uncovering the truth, is for the truth to come in. This is why, above all else, I want to see differently. Because I would like to be a little bit closer to this idea of light, to the wavelength of love, to notice it, to become it. So I may simply be, not in arrogance, but so you too may notice, allowing light to flow into the cracks in the logic that the ego naturally has, because it is fearful. It is cowering, and you are cowering by wearing it. It is an energy suck, vampiric. And I would like to be the curtains spreading in the beautiful daylight, so that you may notice through your upsets that you are well, you are okay, and this is the truth. And you may know love for yourself, and you may offer forgiveness for yourself in any way that you have come to see, whether you believe someone else did it to you or you have done it to yourself. It does not matter. All of those ideas are ideas of the past. We are holding them in place so that we can maintain a self-image, because if we can believe we maintain a self-image, no matter how troublesome it might be, well, at least we exist, right? Yes, we exist. We exist in hell until we can see light. And then we can turn to everything and say, you may have light too. I forgive you. And we are changed. I would let the door behind this world be opened for me. Whatever is on the other side that is covered up by the walls we are creating, that we insist must exist. Because we insisted, of course they are there. Maybe there's a door to happiness. I don't know what it is. I don't know what my purpose is. And we devolve. We slip into depression. And there is nothing to live for. But if, even though we cannot see it, remember, it is in the unknown. That is the idea that we are afraid of. In the unknown could exist a door to holiness, to simple recognition of what could really be there beyond our dis-ease, our fearful self-image. If we can imagine that there is a door beyond all of what we believe is real, then we can say, I would let that door behind all this be opened for me, that I may look past it to the world that reflects the love of God, reflects that there's something about your internal state of being, using the power of light to reflect the effect of your cause, your thinking, back at you, to reflect the love of God. That is what is through that door. Fear would say, do not go in. And I am asking you to consider that there is a door. And when it opens and you do not know what's in there, that you need not have paralysis. It's okay to feel fear in newness, but you can feel strength for yourself. Step through. What is there? Why are we so fearful of it? Perhaps our fear simply is what it says it is afraid. So we greet it with love. And we step through the door and we notice that the light allows reflection of what we are. And what does it reflect? As it shines on everything, it reflects the love of God. Please repeat after me. Above all else, I want to see differently. 29. God is in everything I see. Please repeat after me. God is in everything I see. Behind every image I have made, the truth remains unchanged. Behind every veil I have drawn across the face of love, its light remains undimmed. Beyond all my insane wishes is my will, united with the will of my Father. God is still everywhere and in everything forever, and we who are part of Him will yet look past all appearances and recognize the truth beyond them all. Please repeat after me. God is in everything I see. I think that what we have just shared here is the idea that we either see or we do not. There is truth or there is untruth. There is love or there is fear. This idea we can maybe rephrase, but perhaps it cannot be clearer than it is stated right here. That we either accept this idea as a possibility at minimum while we are practicing, while we are trying ideas on, or we deny it. So I will simply reread it, and may it rest upon you, that God is in everything you see. Behind every image I have made, the truth remains unchanged. Behind every veil I have drawn across the face of love, its light remains undimmed. Beyond all my insane wishes is my will, united with the will of my Father. God is still everywhere and in everything forever, and we who are part of Him will yet look past all experiences, and we who are part of Him will yet look past all appearances and recognize the truth beyond them all. This may be one of my favorite paragraphs so far. Lesson 56, number 4, 2 through 6. Number 5. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. Please repeat after me. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. In my own mind, behind all my insane thoughts of separation and attack, is the knowledge that all is one forever. I have not lost the knowledge of who, capital H, who I am because I have forgotten it. It has been kept for me in the mind of God, who has not left His thoughts, and I, who am among them, and one with them, and one with Him. Please repeat again. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. In my own mind. That's where we exist. Behind all my insane thoughts of separation and attack, that we are creating images that are obfuscating the real experience and our connection with our own mind. Behind these is the knowledge that all is one forever, forever, across all time beyond it. Behind all of our insane thoughts in our own mind is access to the eternal. I have not lost the knowledge of who I am because I have forgotten it. It's impossible. We are never separate from God. We cannot forget. We are connected to God's mind forever. Everything is stored in the source. The source is love. And we have the opportunity, living outside of ourselves, to experience miracles. The miracle of life is to wake up to true vision, to be able to see ourselves for what we really are, a mind experiencing in the name of God. I have not lost the knowledge of who I am because I have forgotten it. It's not possible. We are just not noticing it because we have created many, many, many illusions, insisting that they must be real, but they are blocking the door that's behind them. It has been kept for me in the mind of God, the eternal realm of knowledge. Why would he need to forget the basis for which we were created? Would that not be throwing away the meaning and purpose of his own Son? God has not left his thoughts. God has not left his thoughts. How could that be possible? That he is a mind in eternal knowledge. Where is there to go? He has all knowledge. He is not subject to time. No, he creates us to perceive and see, and one of the things that we can perceive and see is time. And inside of time is the opportunity to learn, moving forward, so to speak, towards something. Everything that I do gives me more information, so it would stand to reason that we are moving forward through time to collect more information across a variety of experiences, no matter what they are, so that we can get closer and closer to the eternal realm of all knowledge. And perhaps as we go forward, we are contributing to it. That God is always storing in the infinite server, the infinite hard drive, everything that we are experiencing. So we can simply look at it and go, aha, these are all the ways I was blinded by illusion, and I accept myself. Here I have been the whole time. I'm grateful to add to the experiences of God. And I'm grateful to see everything that I have experienced in my holiness, that it has not been happening to me, it has been happening for me, so I may wake up. God has never left his own thoughts. It has been kept for me, the knowledge of who I am. It has been kept for me in the mind of God, capital M, mind of God, that it is something to be the mind of God. It's a proper noun, the mind of God. Who, capital H, God, who has not left his thoughts, capital T. These capitalizations are trying to give us an idea of the structure, that God is his thoughts, and God's thoughts are our thoughts, and our thoughts are God's thoughts. It may sound blasphemous to say, but you are of God, connected to God's thoughts, and you are imbued with what he is imbued with, the power to create, the power to see in light. And I, who am among them, God's thoughts. Would you not be amongst your Father's thoughts? Perhaps you feel that your Father has not been present, or has not been able to voice how he feels about you if he has been present, or perhaps you have been experiencing a pouring out of love from your Father, but do you really believe? Do you really believe that your Father does not think about you? If you had a child, whether you were offered love your whole life or you were offered pain and you wanted to break that cycle, do you believe that you would not think about your child? Even if you think about a child you do not have and you're fearful to have one because of what has happened to you, it is illogical to even consider the idea that here we are and we help create a new version of whatever it is that we are, and that we do not think about that. No, never. Never. We may not notice in our busy-mindedness and in our pain and our unwillingness to feel. We may not notice love. It may not be at the front of our mind at all experiences. But the idea that we have ever left our Father's mind, our thoughts, is not reasonable. The idea that your children, whether you have them or you do not have them, would be out of your mind, that you would forget about them, is unreasonable. especially in the name of love, no matter how we believe it has been expressed to us. The knowledge of who I am has been kept for me in the mind of God, who has not left his thoughts, and I, who am among them, am one with them and one with him. You are simply connected to God, even if you believe you are separate. You have not lost them because you have forgotten. It's impossible. You are a conscious mind. And even if we go to the grave demanding that this is bullshit, I imagine at that point we have a wake-up call cast outside of our bodies, and what are we but our mind then? I believe this is what we refer to when we say they are in heaven. Let us not live in hell while we have this gift of life. Please repeat after me one more time. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. I am Kesten Rono, and God is in everything I see. I'll see you tomorrow for day 57 of A Course in Miracles. Please be well.